The anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. A lesbian softball team battles breakups, rivalries, and absurd obstacles in a heartfelt, chaotic mockumentary produced by Elliot Page.
Pentagon warned a Canadian retailer after sex toys reached U.S. troops in Bahrain, triggering a hilarious reaction from the retailer and on social media.
Rising anti-LGBTQ attitudes and political ties drive especially young Americans to leave Christianity, forcing churches to adapt or risk decline.
Founded by former Polygon editors, Mothership centers queer, marginalized voices in games through subscriber-funded, ad-free journalism and criticism.
Upcoming queer film Elsinore explores Ian Charleston's final Hamlet, fame, love, and courage, confronting HIV and AIDS stigma through a powerful ensemble drama on screen.
All this important LGBTQ plus news and more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 11 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It's Tuesday, January 13th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. Hotspots Happening Out is a proud beneficiary of the 2026 Florida AIDS Walk, standing strong by our healthcare pillar. Funds raised are matched dollar for dollar in support of our HIV policy reform and educational programs, including our MSM conference. We invite you to donate and to join us on March 21st to walk in support of the Hotspots Happening Out teams.
In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ television stories.
We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBT community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Yvonne Rohrbacher. Yvonne is a 35-year activist in South Florida and was the founding VP of our Pride Center. She currently volunteers and supports the Women's Fund at Stonewall Museum and Library and other local groups. She now works as the Friendly Visitor Program Coordinator for SAGE. Yvonne, SAGE and Friends Fort Lauderdale celebrates Broward's LGBTQ plus community on February 5th. Tell me, what's happening out?
Oh, my friends, Sage and Friends, which is where I work now, Fort Lauderdale takes place on Thursday, February 5th from 6 to 8 p.m., bringing together community members and allies to celebrate Broward County's LGBTQ plus community while honoring Scott Bennett. You know, he's the first non-founding chair of our fund foundation right now, too, for his impact, his incredible impact and advocacy. And it's hosted by SAGE, Advocacy and Services for LGBTQ plus Elders. This special evening highlights connection, visibility, and support for LGBTQ plus older adults. Guests can expect meaningful conversations, community recognition, and an inclusive atmosphere rooted in pride and gratitude. The location will be shared when you register. For more information, visit sageusa.org.
That's a great event.
That's easy, right? And
Right.
you know, I have to honestly say, I knew of SAGE for so many years, but I had no idea how strong the organization is now and how many actual services are being funded. They have centers all over New York City. They have housing in New York City, and here in South Florida in both Broward County and Dade County, they just do so much for older LGBTQ plus adults that need social, medical, all kinds of resources. And I am just so happy to be helping with that effort.
Yeah, that's awesome. And they have a new executive director who you'll be able to meet if you go to Sage.
Yeah, we have a new CEO. She'll be there. And then there's also a free brunch that I'll talk about later.
Nice. And all the people getting together, that you put people with them so they can meet people.
Right.
And I love that the most. It's an amazing program at Sage.
Yeah, and they both benefit. You know, we can all use new friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Sage and Friends event on February 5th. Let's welcome anchor Bishop Durrell Watkins, the senior minister at Sunshine Cathedral, one of the most important LGBTQ churches in the world. He's an auxiliary bishop of the Global Justice Institute and the current president of the Divine Science Federation. Welcome to the show, Durrell.
I'm glad to be here. I'm always glad to be here. I want you to know some things about Sunshine Cathedral. Of course, we meet every Sunday, as churches do, and we'd love to see you. And if you can't come, we're online. Our second service is live streamed, so you can see us anyway. What I do want you to come for sure is on the 22nd, January the 22nd, we have Nico Long, I should say, it's a non-binary author. Their book is called American Teenager, and it actually explores the queer and non-binary, genderqueer, non-binary, and transgender youth. It's very important. It's award-winning, and he'll be here to talk about it and to sign copies. Awesome. And then on the 24th, of course, we have our local celebrity. She's a global celebrity, but she lives around here. Varla Jean for another show. Always a great event, and that's on the 24th, and you can get tickets at sunshinecathedral.org/arts.
I've got mine.
Already got it?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
6 of them.
Oh, wow.
That's great. Let's welcome anchor Jeff Oliverio. Jeff is the founder and president of the Hollywood LGBTQ Plus Council and serves as the co-chair for the upcoming 5th annual My Hollywood Pride, which returns in January 2026, this month. He also serves on the Save Gala committee. Jeff is a director and certified financial planner with Truist Wealth based on Fort Lauderdale. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be away from my computer because we are busy planning for My Hollywood Pride on January 24th, 2026. It'll be our 5th anniversary. We have an all-star lineup. We have our amazing host, of course, Faye Watt, is going to be on the stage with us. We are going to kick off the day with some great entertainment, including Adam David, the winner of season 27 of The Voice, will be there. We have Rachel Robinson, winner of the Challenge All-Stars, and a fitness influencer, is going to be there to warm up the crowd. We have live entertainment throughout the day, and we're going to end the night with a really fun dance party hosted by the Eagle Wilton Manors with DJ Alex Ramos from 8 to 10 p.m. that we're calling After Dark in Arts Park. So it should be
that sounds like so much fun.
It sounds like a lot of fun. It's a full day of events. Go to Eventbrite and check out our tickets for our other events, including our brunch, which is this weekend, our queer comedy, which is close to selling out. So grab your tickets now. And next week, we will have a VIP kickoff at the Hard Rock to light up the guitar for Pride. So
Awesome.
hopefully we'll see you there.
Exactly. Let's welcome anchor Joe Pacetti. Joe is an international jewelry broker and designer known for his jet-setting lifestyle and philanthropic focus. Based in Dallas, he's a major donor to the Gamma Mu Foundation, and he also supports St. Anne's Outreach Center and serves on the board of the Vatican Museums. Joe, I hear that there's a Palm Royale themed event coming to Wilton Manors in January. Tell me, what's happening out?
Well, Cindy, Gamma Mu Foundation, which has been in existence for about 50 years, it was founded by Cliff Pettit, run by John Ellis, Fort Lauderdale residents, invites you to join us at the Richardson Historic House. It's Saturday, January 17th. It's from 6:30 p.m. till 10. Our Celebration East 2026 brings us together for an evening of Palm Royale. Glamour gives back. Our guests that night will be joined by Drag Race Season 17 diva Lucky Stars, jazz artist Zach Asry, who's performed in my house in Dallas. He's an amazing gentleman with a beautiful voice, a future Frank Sinatra, and cabaret and burlesque performer Phoenix Hertz. More information and tickets can be found at GammaMuFoundation.org.
That sounds really fun and interesting. Tell us about Gamma Mu.
So Gamma Mu started, Cindy, about 50 years ago when gay gentlemen did not have anywhere to go, and we didn't have all the communication via internet, and men would go to a city and they wouldn't know where to go or who to socialize with, and many were in the closet, and many were afraid to go to gay bars. So Cliff Pettit started this organization as a social fraternity. And when I was divorced from my wife in 1987, I joined Gamma Mu. And it's just really been a godsend in many people's lives, especially people in small towns. And we have what we call fly-ins, and people fly in from other cities and spend 3 or 4 days all over the world. Mm-hmm. And guys, sometimes we have as many as 250, 300 people that come, and it's really been a really incredible. We've given back, I think, just over $5 million.
Wow, that is significant.
Mostly to scholarships and grants, and a lot of them to rural communities, mm-hmm. which is really important. They seem to be overlooked. We've helped a lot of guys and girls as well with sexual identity crises, mm-hmm. and been able to fund things to help these people in their futures.
That sounds really amazing.
Nice.
And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Gamma Mu Foundation Celebration East 2026 on Saturday, January 17th.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Cindy Brown. Cindy has been an activist for the LGBTQ plus community for 35 years, working for or serving on many local nonprofit boards. She served as the founding executive director of Miami Beach Pride and currently sits on the LGBTQIA advisory board for Miami-Dade County. She also runs her own consulting company, Synergy, for nonprofits, helping with finance, strategic planning, board structure, grants, and more. Welcome to the show, Cindy. I'm surprised you don't look tired.
Oh my gosh, that's smoke and mirrors. Never a dull day in my life. I'm happy to be here with all of you around the table, and welcome, Joe. I know it's your first time. I'm Cindy Brown, and let's queer up lesbian and queer culture. Elliot Page backs a Sapphic softball mockumentary, and it's coming in 2026. Queer sports stories are having a well-earned moment, and the next big win is Slow Pitch, a lesbian softball mockumentary produced by Elliot Page's Pageboy Productions. Set to debut on Crave in 2026, the Canadian series leans into the joy, mess, and comedy that LGBT viewers have been craving. Slow Pitch is a 10-episode mockumentary that follows the Public Las Broveries, a queer underdog slow pitch softball team. The team is thrown into chaos when Coach Joanne is dumped by her girlfriend and co-founder of the team. From there, the squad battles a season of strikeouts, petty rivalries, conservative politician sponsors, and sexy car wash fundraisers gone wrong, all while Joanne's ex joins a rival team. starring Jess Saliguero and Emily Hampshire, and backed by Page Boy's mission to champion underrepresented voices. Slow Pitch is shaping up to be a home run for queer TV. The show is based on the Out TV series of the same name. 2 seasons of the original show are available on Amazon Prime via AMC+. Here's the trailer of the original show for a taste of what to expect in the new show.
Today is a new season of Toronto's Low Pro Slow Pitch League. I couldn't be more excited for my team. I'm Joanne. I've been coaching the public last Rovaries for the last 5 years.
John Wallace Tapia!
We have been working hard. Championships are won at practice. And this year, we're gonna go all the way. Clear eyes, full hearts, we'll lose, probably. But we're gonna have a damn good time doing it because that's what matters.
You think this is a funny game? It's not! I am not having fun! This is a beer league with no beer. To turn off the camera. I don't want to play anymore.
I cannot wait for that to come out. I'm going to be there watching every episode. I used to play softball, and, we had a lot of antics and beer, lots of beer.
Yeah. Are you sure they didn't film that at Mills Pond Park over here in Wilton Manors?
I don't know.
This Sapphic softball cinematic sensation.
Oh, I like that.
I can't
Oh,
wait
I
to
love
see it.
that.
I didn't expect it to be funny. Now I can't wait to see it.
Oh, of
It's
course, it's a
obviously-
And sexy.
mockumentary.
Yeah.
I like that
I didn't expect it to be
mockumentary.
sexy or funny, and it's both of those things. That's just
Apparently,
that bit. I can't
lesbian
wait.
softball drama's universal. Who knew?
Right.
It's a Canadian show, and
It's
it
the
looks
story
like
that
it's been
tells the
done in
jokes
Wilton
itself.
Manors.
Right, yeah, and it's Canadian, so,
Yeah.
I think I have a crush on Beer Lady. I think.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
I love her.
That was great. Yeah, we'll definitely have to see that. I'm Yvonne Rohrbacher, and let's queer up the USA View. Pentagon asked Canadian sex shop to stop sending butt plugs to troops in Bahrain. Please. The U.S. Department of Defense has asked a Canadian adult retailer to stop sending sex toys to American service members stationed in the Middle East. A story first reported and followed closely by QueerT.com. The unusual request involved packages sent to a U.S. naval base in Bahrain, where such items are illegal under local law. Bonjibon co-founder Grace Bennett says she received 2 stern letters from the Department of Defense over items shipped to a naval base in Bahrain where such toys are illegal. Bennett read aloud a line from the letter describing the items as posing an immediate danger, quote, an immediate danger to life or limb or an immediate and substantial danger to property, end quote. A moment that quickly went viral. She later whispered that the products included a butt plug and a bullet vibrator, a reveal that fueled laughter across queer social media. An Instagram reel showing Bennett framing the Pentagon letters earned more than 140,000 likes. One commenter joked, hate mail, oh, here's another quote. Quote, hate mail from this administration would go on a wall higher than my graduate degrees, end quote.
Love that.
Speaking with CTV News Toronto, Bennett said, quote, we didn't even know it was going to Bahrain until it came back to us months later. There are so many layers of hilarity to this, end quote. She believes the package was forwarded there since Bonjibon does not ship directly to Bahrain. The Pentagon declined to comment, and Bennett refunded the order after it was returned. So they got caught. The products didn't even go to the people that wanted them, and we don't know who forwarded them there. It's all quite a really interesting mystery.
Well, the real question is who has them now and where are they?
Well,
And
then
where
it
are
sounds-
they?
They
It
got
sounds like
shipped
they're
back.
saying that they got
They
shipped
sent
back,
them
but I'm
back.
like,
Even got a
who sent them
refund, yeah.
back?
But shipped back to where?
Right.
company.
To the
Yeah.
company.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I just think it's hilarious that service members are getting butt plugs and bullet
They
vibrators.
got nothing else to do.
And why are they illegal?
Well,
Anyway.
because it's a very religious.
Yeah, I
thing,
know. I'm
But
just,
also, why can't you're there? You're in the defense force. Your people are in danger. You can't defend
That
your own
danger
defenders.
thing.
Yeah, that was the funny part.
Oh my God,
I
it
hope this
was.
doesn't hurt the anal joy industry. Do you know what I mean? I hope this
that's
doesn't.
true. I think the biggest, irony here is that the person that leads the Department of Defense is a tool and an asshole. And both of those things
There
were
you
shipped to
go.
Bahrain.
Yes.
So
Amen.
All right, let's have some
take
more
that,
beer
Pete.
on that one.
There you go.
Department of Defense.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe he's tried them out.
Unreal that she went public with that, and I love her for that.
I love
Me too.
everything about
I
it.
think it's wonderful.
I'm Bishop Durrell Watkins, and let's queer up faith. Why more Americans are leaving Christianity over anti-LGBTQ views. Americans are increasingly leaving Christianity, citing anti-LGBTQ plus animus and political entanglement as key reasons, according to new research and personal accounts. Garth Hulskamp, now 35, left the Mormon Church after years of internal conflict over his sexuality. While serving a Mormon mission at 19, he recalls companions telling a lesbian couple that Jesus could save them from all sins, including homosexuality. At the time, Hulskamp knew he was gay. Talking to Gay Times and Uncloseted Media, he said, quote, "I was hoping that I'd come up from my mission and be attracted to women and be able to live like this very quintessential Mormon dream," end quote. That never happened. And after years of therapy and strained family relationships, he officially left the church in 2017. Hulskamp's experience reflects a broader shift. A 2024 Public Religion Research Institute study found that 47% of Americans who deconstructed their faith did so because of how LGBTQ people are treated. This percentage is up from 29% in 2016. Nearly 60% of adults under 30 cited the same reason. At the same time, some conservative denominations continue anti-LGBTQ positions, while affirming churches have seen growth. Psychologist Darrell Ray says institutions face a choice: adapt or lose relevance. Quote, "The culture makes a change, and then the church has to adjust, or it goes extinct," end quote. I certainly know that LGBTQ issues is what caused me to deconstruct and reconstruct my faith. Because once I plowed through all that to figure out, okay, I am who I am, I'm good, it's, God can either get on board with this or God can kiss my ass, whatever. Once I got through all that, the next question was, what are the chances that's the only thing they got wrong? And so it led to more and more deconstruction, So now, this flaming liberal, well, flaming anything, but also this liberal, progressive, but it all started with having to reconcile the gay bit. And then I just, went crazy with it. But, so this makes sense to me. And I'm glad that people are challenging it and making different choices. Because no one should be anywhere where they're insulted or abused or demoralized or dehumanized. So keep making that statement, and churches will have to change.
and I think that,
They'll have to.
the Sunshine Cathedral is so much more important. I mean, I don't practice any religion, but for those that do, having that affirming space, those who are raised being religious, ostracized from, the church that perhaps they grew up in, so many people have left.
Yeah.
This article really demonstrates that.
Yeah.
And I can see why.
And if it's part of your family experience or part of your identity, it hurts to leave. It's a big
Absolutely.
deal that
Oh,
they
yeah.
leave.
Big
It's a big
deal.
deal.
This whole generation, for a good 30 years, there's been a study every year that people are leaving organized religion, religion. And this reminds me of a story of my longest term partner's parents. She was the youngest of 7 children. And so obviously everybody else was all grown up and out of the house before she realized she was a lesbian and came out. And they were devout Catholics, Catholic school, Catholic high school, everything. And then when she came out and they tried to reconcile that with their faith, her parents left the church.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and what was amazing to me was the other reasons there on that chart that he was showing regarding leaving, the scandals about child sex abuse in the Catholic Church, And bad for my mental health was one of the reasons. But
yeah.
still,
Totally.
you know, the reasons that they brought up about social issues were at the top of the game.
Right.
Well, I mean, I can, you know, obviously I grew up in a Catholic household. I went to Catholic school for younger, you know, elementary school, and certainly have not been involved in organized religion in some time. I probably have spent the most time in a church in the last 10 years at St. John's on the Lake, which is another affirming church, led by an LGBTQ pastor, Pastor Kip, and not because I'm going there for church, but they host community events that I think bring people there outside of the confines of what religion is. Because religion at its core is about community, bringing people together
100%.
and having something to believe in. You know, St. John's on the Lake hosts a big gay brunch once a month, which is, again, not a church event, but is a social event led by the church. And it's just it's a good feel-good day. You know, it's not about religion. It's just about everyone talking about, you know, community, feelings, and affirming who you are and your identity. So I think those are the churches that are going to have growth, like Sunshine Cathedral.
If I uplift you and celebrate you, you'll find what's divine within yourself. So these events are amazing. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you. And that's what I see as the benefit of any organized religion or spiritual center these days, is that community and that sharing that makes you feel your spirituality.
Yeah, Joe, I know you're involved in St. Anne's and the Vatican Museum.
All kinds of things, actually. I'm very involved with my home church, Cathedral of Hope in Dallas, which is a non-denominational, all-inclusive church. And I grew up a Methodist in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the buckle of the Bible Belt. And my mother, who was really not highly educated and had those little, you know, blockers on, and was a Methodist her whole life, came and visited my church. And she said something very profound. She said, "Your church is all-inclusive. You have every walk of life there." She said, "A church should be a hospital for sinners and not a rest home for saints." And I think that's what a church should be. Jesus was a shepherd, and he shepherded all people of all walks of life. And that's what it should be. And I am involved with the Vatican Museum, not the Vatican itself, but the museum. And I've sat on the board since 1994. I'm a Medici by blood from Florence. So we had 4 popes in my ancestral family. I'm not a Catholic. There are many things about the Catholic Church I don't believe in. We won't go into all of those. I do love the Pope we have now. I adored Pope Francis, and if Pope Francis hadn't come along and made some statements he made about inclusiveness, I think they would have lost even more followers than they have.
Right. Yeah.
And I love coming to your church. I love it. It's the closest thing to my church that there is.
I worked at your church for about 6 years back in the 90s.
I remember. I remember.
You know, this is a big topic, and I'm sure that there'll be a lot more conversation about it, especially under this administration, and you know, using Christianity.
I'm very happy I got here on time today. I live on the island of Palm Beach during the season, and Donald Trump is out of town, so I was able to come.
Thank God.
Not have the
Take
bridge
forever.
up and avoid the blockade. So I was
that must be
punctual.
so annoying, and
and
to know that that's why.
Annoying AF. Annoying AF. I mean, it is horrible. I think about the people that pay huge property tax that live blocks from him, and how greatly inconvenienced they are.
Totally.
If he's afraid of being shot, stay in Washington, D.C. and leave us alone.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
that would be nice.
well,
That would be nice.
yeah. Well,
Stay somewhere, not there. Okay.
I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up gay culture. After Polygon's sale and layoffs, queer-led game site Mothership prepares for launch. A new independent games media site is launching with a clear mission, centering gender identity, queerness, and underrepresented voices in gaming. The site, called Mothership, is founded by former Polygon editors Maddie Myers and Zoe Hanna after a turbulent sale of Polygon to Valnet, a company that laid off most of its unionized staff. Describing the aftermath of the sale, Myers said, quote, "It was about a week and a half in where I realized, like, okay, yeah, this is not going to work for me," end quote. Rather than leaving games media altogether, the pair chose to build something new. Mothership will analyze games through identity-first criticism at a time when those perspectives are increasingly marginalized. Myers said it's teen vogue, but for video games, calling it a bittersweet pitch. The site will feature reported stories, criticism, podcasts, video, and a newsletter, funded by subscription starting at just $7 a month. Hannah added, quote, there will be no programmatic ads whatsoever on Mothership, which is a badge of honor, end quote. Meyer says the response from queer gamers has been overwhelming. Mothership launches January 26th. So this is a big part of our community. The gaming community is, very popular in the LGBTQ and space. And I think this is sounds like a great initiative. And it sounds like they're pushing back against corporate entities that are coming at them.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, my video games are Angry Birds on my phone. But I know a lot of people are into gaming and, building computers just for gaming. And
who has time for all that? I don't have time for
My
that.
grandson.
Yeah. It must be a different generation. 70. It must be a different generation.
There's a social component they're bringing into it too, and also some
big
news.
time.
It's kind of like a hybrid,
Right, and the technology has multiple uses.
Right.
Like we, for over a decade, we had a congregation in Second Life, which used gaming technology, but you came as your avatar and into this virtual space, and it was wonderful. And that way. Like if you were a fundamentalist, you could go to this progressive church and not be outed, or if you were like if you were the children of like some super conservative pastor, it was a way to be safe, but also have your community. And it was that technology. It was the gaming technology.
wow,
Cool.
interesting.
Wow.
I guess, those of us around the table kind of missed that whole gaming.
It was another generation
Just
for
softball.
me.
Scrabble was my game.
Does
I played softball. I went outside and played softball.
Real game.
Does Ms.
Real
Pac-Man
games.
count?
Does
When the-
what?
Ms. Pac-Man.
Well, that's the same thing as like Angry Birds. They're talking about gaming where you're on the headset with
Yeah,
other
no.
people and you're playing war games.
We have two kids in our church, and they live in two different places. That's how they talk to each other.
Yeah.
These brothers, they get on this game, and that's how they don't use the phone. They don't even text. They
Yeah.
use this gaming thing.
Right.
Are there not playgrounds anymore and swing sets and
I want to
slides?
go outside.
That's where people our age do Tai Chi.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
I'm Joe Pacetti, and let's queer up entertainment. Joe Locke and Andrew Scott are teaming up for a powerful new LGBTQ-centered film. Heartstoppers Joe Locke and Wake Up Dead Man and Knives Out mystery star Andrew Scott have been cast in Elsinore, a new film chronicling the life of legendary gay actor Ian Charleson. As reported by Deadline, Scott will portray Charleson as he prepares to perform Hamlet at London's National Theatre. Charleson is best known for his role as Olympic athlete and missionary Eric Liddell in the Oscar-winning 1981 film Chariots of Fire. Charleson was diagnosed with HIV in 1986 and died of AIDS-related causes in January of 1990 at just 40 years old. 8 weeks after his acclaimed Hamlet performance, he requested that his death be publicly announced as AIDS-related, making him one of the first UK celebrities to do so, and helping awareness and compassion for people living with HIV and AIDS. The cast of Elsinore include Olivia Colman, Billie Piper, Johnny Flynn, Monica Dolan, Juliet Stevenson, Adil Akhtar, and more. Elsinore is directed by the Dig filmmaker Simon Stone and written by Pride writer Stephen Beresford. The film is currently shooting across the UK and has no release date yet. I think that sounds exciting. I'm kind of interested to see it. How about y'all?
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about him.
Well, that's the thing, is that we need to know more about our history, and
Exactly.
we need to remember, it's already being like this secret or this way thing from the past. It still impacts people's lives. It's still relevant, and we need to know about it in any case.
Right.
So anytime like this, that like we were exposed to our history and to things that are still important, like HIV, this is and anything that Olivia Colman touches, I have to see.
Right.
So
He's
yes.
in everything lately.
Yeah.
All the British stuff.
This generation doesn't really know what our generation went through with HIV and AIDS. I mean, I can't even remember how many friends I've lost. It's scary. But they just think, I'll just pop a PrEP and I don't have to worry
They
about
have
that.
No idea. Yeah.
And
I
they
think
never
that-
saw their friends dying from wasting syndrome and KP sarcoma.
not.
And
Nobody teaches LGBTQ history. You don't learn it in school.
no,
There's
certainly don't.
there's no classes.
That's why
History and science are enemies of education right now,
Right.
but
And
that's why
they're hanging up the 10 Commandments here and there. You know?
Right.
I think it's the responsibility of those of us who lived that history to make sure it's documented.
Stays alive.
That's why there are so many programs of oral histories.
Yep.
And I think that young LGBT folks should be encouraged. I've actually done a couple of presentations to LGBTQ youth on the history, dating way back to the ancient Greece,
Right.
where it was part of everyday life. And, having these kinds of stories come out goes a long way to giving people an idea of what it was like back then.
And HIV is not just our history.
No,
I am
lots of
HIV positive
history.
37 years.
Right.
Like, it's sort of a miracle that I'm around to tell this tale.
Right.
Because I wasn't just a witness. I was one of those people.
Right.
And so yeah, it's like some of us. I am one ridiculous legislative action around medication away from not being able to live.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this is not just history. It is
of
still
course.
very, very
not.
relevant, which is why I think things like this are so important.
But you're
Yeah.
right. The younger people don't know. They don't remember that it was. I
They
mean,
never
for
saw
us, it was a 20-year COVID
We
shutdown
lived.
almost,
Yeah, right.
in terms of how
A
it
battle.
changed our culture in so many ways, and that's why the Stonewall National Archives is so important, because
Exactly.
so many people don't know
That's
about
true.
it. And Andy Perrott really recently made a full-length movie out of a lot of the oral histories some of us had done for him about gay history in Broward County, and he went all the way back to the 50s.
Right.
They did one showing of this film recently, and the part that was about that part of our culture here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that all of the LGBTQ youth should be required to watch Longtime Companions.
Oh yes.
And Philadelphia's
Right.
story.
Philadelphia.
The Philadelphia
Yep.
story. I had a house guest in Aspen, a young guy that came to visit in the summer, and he didn't know what Philadelphia story was. He thought it was something, or Philadelphia, I think.
Yeah,
I'm
Philadelphia.
confusing that with the Philadelphia story.
Yeah.
And he thought it was the, movie with Katharine Hepburn. And I said, no, we're going to watch this. And he cried and cried and cried. And I said, we all lived through this.
Exactly.
We lived through all
And I
this.
know that we have this youth culture in our, LGBT, but I turned 60 this year. In November I will.
Child.
And I'm so, and
Welcome.
I'm so glad though. I'm so glad because 30 years ago, I didn't know anyone my age.
Right.
I did,
No, I get it.
I did 100 funerals.
We lost everybody.
Yeah.
Between 94 and 96, I did 100 funerals, all before I was 30, and never for anyone over the age of 50.
Right.
And so that I have this wonderful opportunity to be an elder in our culture because there was a whole generation that we didn't have older.
Right.
They were gone. And Cindy was working for HCN at that time. God
Yeah.
knows how many
Oh,
people
sure.
she lost.
Yeah, so many. And
And they don't know if it weren't for the lesbians, we'd even had a worse time. They were our caregivers and our
Right.
advocates.
because we weren't afraid to touch you.
I bought an apartment building and it was full of guys that were on disability.
Yeah, well, history is so important. Watch the film when it comes out, whenever it comes out. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Hotspots magazine spotlights life-saving care on wheels for beloved pets. LGBTQ plus lifestyle magazine Hotspots is back with another issue. This time, it brings to you a feature on the Pet Project for Pets and its newly launched mobile wellness van, a groundbreaking initiative bringing veterinary care directly to seniors and underserved communities across South Florida. The mobile wellness van will provide wellness exams, vaccinations, and preventative care with regular service expected to begin in 2026, ensuring seniors never have to choose between their own limitations and the health of a beloved pet. This feature stories and many more are included in your free copy of the upcoming issue of Hotspots magazine on stands this Thursday, January 15th. Definitely pick up your copy of Hotspots and check out the Pet Project for Pets. It's an amazing organization that does great work to allow people to be with their pets.
Wonderful.
And pets deserve like good health and happiness anyway, just because they exist.
Yeah.
But also, they add so much quality of life to people. Like it's a symbiotic thing where for your physical and mental health. It's just a good relationship to have, you and your pets. And so that if they help keep you healthy, you help keep them healthy.
Yep, exactly.
It's the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
Go to their thrift store and spend some money.
Right.
I love that they're bringing it to seniors because, again, it is just another thing that is more challenging, especially in a place like South Florida where a lot of seniors don't want to drive and maybe get out of the house or don't have the ability to get out of the house.
Right,
So
right.
The Pet Project started during the AIDS crisis, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, check them out, the Pet Project for Pets.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Stonewall Gala 2026 honors icons of LGBTQ plus history on February 21st. The Stonewall Gala 2026, Standing on the Shoulders of Heroes, takes place Saturday, February 21st from 6 to 9 p.m. at the venue in Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors. This fundraiser honors John Stryker, the Honorable Barney Frank, and Janice Ian for their transformative impact on LGBTQ plus lives, cultures, and rights. Together, they join the Standing on the Shoulders of Heroes traveling exhibition. Guests will gather for cocktails, dinner, conversation, and community. More details at stonewall-museum.org. This will be probably the 5th, maybe a little bit more year in a row that I made sure to go to the Stonewall National Archives and Library Gala. I've been on their board, I don't know how long. Anyway, now I'm just part of the Women's Fund. But there's just, as we just were mentioning, there's just nothing more important than understanding that there needs to be a place where we become real fabric of our society, and you can go back and look at how that has happened, who made it happen. There are artifacts. I just referred a fella there that was on the founding board of SAGE, actually, in New York City, that has an amazing collection of memorabilia and notebooks full of stuff he did when SAGE was new. And the gentleman's going to turn 90 this year, and he's going to donate it all to Stonewall. I mean, there's just nothing more important.
Yeah, I was going to say that if anyone out there has any historical documents or even posters or pins from events that happened, 30, 40, 50, even 60 years ago, Stonewall Museum and Archives is the place to send them because they will be preserved because our history.
And there's fun stuff too, kinky boots and Elton John donated a jacket once. There's all kinds of cool stuff.
And it's important that we recognize these people from our history. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I thought Barney Frank was just a hero. And so it's important to know because first of all, we don't want to forget. And we also want to build. They did a lot for us. They did a lot. So we don't want to ever go back. We want to build on what they did. So we need to know what they did.
Go to the gala, see these people in person.
Yeah, we've partnered with the Stonewall Archives. They're coming to Hollywood Pride this year.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
So they bring a kind of an exhibit, and we're going to actually have a gallery space this year for the first time. There's a small gallery in the Arts Park, so we're going to have an exhibit there. And again, it's the same thing, bringing that history to places where people don't get to see it, especially because if people don't know about the Stone. I tell people all the time who are part of our community about the Stonewall Museum and don't know about it, but bringing it to Hollywood, we're really excited, and we love
fantastic.
That partnership.
And we're getting more and more contributions from women across the country now that we've started the Women's National Stonewall Fund.
Nice. An LGBTQ 1 minute news story. Let's queer up entertainment. Heated rivalries, popularity breaks Russia's censorship. Heated Rivalry has become such a global hit that Russian fans are breaking the law to watch it. The Canadian LGBTQ+ sports romance about two rival hockey players in a secret love story boasts a 9.1 IMDb score and a 98% Rotten Tomatoes rating. Despite Russia's sweeping gay propaganda laws, journalist Mikhail Zygar says the show has seen extraordinary success. On Kinopoisk, it's Kinopoisk. I'm going to go with that. You have to trust me. That's what it has to be. On Kinopoisk, the show has an 8.6 out of 10 rating. Fans are using Telegram, VPNs, and piracy to watch, risking heavy fines just to see queer love on screen. I have to say, I would risk quite a bit to see Hollander in any state doing anything. Also, it does show you the power of representation and the power of storytelling, that this is a very repressive place for queer people, but this is what's getting to them and empowering them even to take some risks to see representation and hear stories like their own. Shows you the power.
And we keep talking about the wave kind of moving to the other side, and we just went through a period where Netflix and all these other networks canceled a lot of queer programming. Right. I guarantee there's going to be more queer programming after the success of this. This is not a small success. This is the most watched show on the streaming, on HBO's streaming platform.
I also point out they're both from Canada. So Canada is where to look.
Having a queer moment.
Yeah.
Well, they're the heroes right now.
Putting it out.
Yeah, I read a little post, somebody that I'm friends with on Facebook the other day, a gay man, walked into a straight bar. It was all women sitting there watching it, and they kind of kicked him out like, hey, we're getting off on this by ourselves. Could you please leave? So it's everywhere.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up entertainment. Kendall Jenner addresses sexuality speculation and calls for kindness. Kendall Jenner addressed online speculation about her sexuality on actor Owen Teal's In Your Dreams podcast. She said, quote, "There's this whole side of the internet that thinks I'm a lesbian," end quote. Jenner rejected claims she's hiding her identity for business reasons. She emphasized personal agency and openness while clarifying her current identity. Quote, "All's to say, as of today, I am not gay. I don't think I will be, but I'm not closing the doors to experiences in life." Well, hope you all can keep up with that Kardashian.
I think it's great that, she's not making a determination either way. And, I think
some people like the mystery.
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And that she probably does know what she prefers, but she's just like, it's nobody's business, and I'm not gonna try to shame anybody. I just love that whatever attitude. I might be later. You don't know. Who cares? I just love that.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a crush on him when it was Bruce Jenner with the
Wasn't
those short shorts on the Wheaties spot. Whatever it
That
was.
was a long time ago.
Oh my God, like
that was,
forever.
That was literally a different life.
Joe Pacetti again. Let's queer up gay culture. Publishers pull back on LGBTQ plus books amid bans, and GOP climate publishers are stepping back from LGBTQ plus books as book bans surge and U.S. enters 2026 under a second year of a GOP president. Boo. Industry insiders say more queer manuscripts are being rejected, with royalties dropping, especially in children's and young adult publishing. PEN America tracked over 10,000 bans in 2023 to 2024, and nearly 7,000 more last school year. Darius the Great is not okay author Adib Khurram reports a 70% royalty drop. Wow, this is sad. I mean, it's like trying to take down the statues in the parks and change history. And gay didn't just start with our generation and the last one.
Yeah.
it dates back to before Christ. I mean,
Of course.
what the F is wrong with these people? All Republicans?
And the banned books got a lot of publicity, but it's a real shame that these authors who, you know, depend on their writing to earn
Freedom
a
of
living.
speech.
Yeah, and because of the bans, publishers are afraid to publish them for fear that
So sad.
nobody will buy them.
And it does show the fallout when the government, which is the most powerful thing, when the government targets a community to dehumanize them, demoralize them, demonize them, there are real consequences, including maybe interfering with their living.
Yeah.
Another way to fight back is, you know, go and buy LGBTQ authors that write books for kids and for teens and donate them to, you know, somewhere like the Pride Center or to Pride Lines or a place where there are youth organizations.
suggestion.
Buy those books so that, you know, where schools and other organizations are not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm going to do that.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
If our community is to grow, And then to thrive, we must tell our stories, and we must bring them to the attention of a broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Cindy Brown, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, Yvonne Rohrbacher, Bishop Durrell Watkins, Joe Pacetti, and Jeff Oliverio. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we wish you a good night.
Good night.